Morning, everyone. This is the Pittsburgh Water and Sewer Authority regular board meeting of March 24th, 2023. The board did meet in executive session. No votes were taken. Only matters of personnel and other legal matters were discussed. So, Deb, let's start with the roll call.
Okay. Ms. McCormick Barron.
Here.
Ms. Cristello. Mr. Domoff.
Here.
Ms. Lever.
Here.
Mr. Martin.
Here.
Dr. Moreau. Mr. Shuley.
Here.
Ms. Strasburg.
Here.
We have 6 board members present.
Thank you. Do we have any speakers for public comment?
No public comment today.
All right. First order of business is the approval of the meeting minutes of February 24th, 2023. May I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thanks, BJ. Any discussion? All in favor of the meeting minutes of February 24th, 2023, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Are there any opposed? Any abstentions? The meeting minutes are approved. Next item is the confirmation of CEO approvals. All CEO approvals from the prior month are approved. And we'll move to reports and updates. Finance Department, Mr. Barca.
Morning again. To say, Board of Directors, included in your board packet is the finance report through February 28th, 2023. Within the report, you will see that year-to-date receipts are $32 million, or approximately 15.4% of the total budget. PWSA has experienced stronger than expected receipts for water, wastewater conveyance, and discharges through the first 2 months of 2023 by collecting $28 million as compared to $24 million that was budgeted. Total forecasted year-end receipts, inclusive of our rate stabilization fund, are $210.5 million. This represents an increase of $3.9 million, or 1.88% as compared to the budget. Year-to-date departmental operating expenses are $15.6 million, which is $5.3 million lower than budgeted. However, it is expected that these departmental expenditures will expedite in the coming months once construction season starts and large initiatives at PWSA are kicked off. PWSA continues to monitor the impact of inflation, the impact it is having on chemical treatment and utility costs, in order to mitigate any budget overages as we continue throughout this year. In addition, PWSA's cash balance remains at an all-time high balance of approximately $67 million as of February 28th, 2023, which is $12 million higher as compared to the prior year. It is this time that I'll turn it back over to the board to answer any questions. Thank you.
Any questions or comments for Mr. Barca? Good job, Ed.
Yep, thank you.
Next, we'll hear from the engineering department. Mr. King.
Good morning, members of our board. This morning, I'll begin with a brief update regarding our drinking water programs. Lead service lines continue to be replaced through our small diameter water main replacement program, as well as our lead service line replacement projects. The total number of lead service lines completed through March 23rd, 2022 across all of our contracts and operations is 10,064 public and 7,005 private side replacements. The current small diameter water main contracts continue with the replacement of more than 33,460 linear feet or 6.3 miles of water main throughout the city of Pittsburgh. I'll next shift to the progress that we are continuing on the design and construction efforts for water reliability plan projects. Construction actively continues on our Rising Main #4 rehabilitation project in Highland Park, as well as the Highland Reservoir Supply and Rising Main project. Design and permitting efforts are continuing on the balance of our water reliability plan projects. Design reviews continue between PWSA staff and our design consultants on the Aspinwall pump station, the Brecken pump station improvements, as well as the Clearwell emergency bypass project. PADP construction permit applications, NPDES permitting, as well as State Historic Preservation Office reviews are still in progress for all of our ABC projects, as well as the Landford Reservoir project and the Landford Reservoir Improvement project. PWSA is preparing for the second consultant party workshop in association with the EPA and SHPO reviews of our Aspinwall pump station improvements project with a workshop that's targeted for the end of next month. The Highland Reservoir pump station will be going out to bid in April. So that is the next one for slate for construction. And then with relation to water reliability plan projects at the Aspinwall water treatment plant, the kickoff meeting was conducted with Duquesne Light on March 6th for the construction of the new 4.6 kV power substation at the Aspinwall water treatment plant. The preliminary schedule they have provided reflects breaking ground in March 27th, and then formal civil construction of the project and installation of equipment by May 16th to begin that phase of the work. Next, I will shift to our stormwater and green infrastructure program. Starting on April 13th, PWSA will be hosting 6 community workshop meetings that we are titling the Stormwater Conversations, that will be held in 6 areas of the city, specifically being West End, South, East End, North Side, Central, and Downtown. These will conclude by June 6th. The objective of these workshops are to gather feedback about the stormwater strategic plan initiatives that are underway and hear firsthand how stormwater is impacting our customers. Details regarding these workshops, including dates and meeting locations, can be found on the stormwater pages of our PGH2O website. As a reminder, the public comment period for the stormwater strategic plan is open through June 30th, 2023. Comments will be able to be submitted by using either our online web form found at the stormwater website or a downloadable PDF that can be filled in and then mailed the address provided on the website. I will close with a positive report where it was announced yesterday that PWSA, Alcosan, and JMT have earned the National Recognition Award from the National American Council of Engineering Companies, ACEC, for the M29 Outfall Project, which will be received during an award ceremony in Washington, D.C. in June 13th of 2023. This concludes engineering's March board report. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Very good. Questions or comments for Mr. King?
I'd like to offer my congratulations on the ACEC award.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. So the ESWP award for M29 and now this national award. So congrats. Yeah, what's exciting.
Yeah, on behalf of
project,
staff, thank you.
Project. And I think we'll be up for a few more awards, Barry, before this whole water reliability plan runs its course. So congrats.
Thank you.
And I just wanted to say that, you know, I'm very happy that you're getting out into the community to hear from the public in response to the proposed stormwater plan and to discuss stormwater and to maybe recruit some more stormwater ambassadors. I hope anyone listening will consider attending in their neighborhood. And, you know, I think all of us as board members can do all we can as well to encourage our neighbors and those we know to attend, participate.
The comment period that you mentioned for the stormwater, the open period for questions on stormwater. And
that's through June 30th?
June 30th, okay. I think we have a committee there, so we'll maybe get some insight. Okay, great. Thanks, Barry.
Thank you.
Next, we have the Chief Environmental Compliance and Ethics Officer report, normally given by Mr. Sederi, but he is busy with work at the plant. So Will, would you step in for him?
Happy to do so, Chair Shuley. Good morning, members of the board, members of the public and staff here in person with us here at 1200 Penn. Standing in for our Chief Environmental Compliance and Ethics Officer, as Chair Shuley mentioned, and one of the areas that he wanted to focus that he has shared previously are the federal government guidelines related to communications and those guidelines that the federal government sees as key to an effective compliance program. PWSA has created several ongoing education and training approaches to address communication with respect to compliance. One is organization-wide training using our learning management system. An example of this is the 2023 annual stormwater management and water conservation training, which was assigned this month to all authority staff. I have completed it. I expect everyone in this room to have completed it. They have not, they'll be hearing from me. This training is part of our obligation under our MS4 permit, and it provides education to staff on our stormwater program in ways to reduce stormwater pollution and to promote water conservation. That is all delivered online in our learning management system. Frank and his team also conduct small in-person group trainings. This month, he's been conducting compliance and environmental training sessions with contractors who are starting new projects. And somehow he has found the time in the last 4 weeks to have conducted 12 of these sessions, reaching over 100 contractors, providing education on PWSA's code of conduct, our code of ethics, our non-retaliation policy, our whistleblower policy, and discussing requirements around waste management and other environmental compliance issues. Third, Frank and his team conduct safety tailgate meetings for our field staff. So each Monday, environmental compliance and safety staff provide a compliance tailgate training at the water treatment plant, and they rotate to the other field operations sites at Brilliant, Mission, and Howard. And recently, environmental compliance training topics have included housekeeping, universal waste, aerosol can disposal and management, hazardous waste, spill kits, chemical unloading, and spill prevention plans. So through these education and training approaches, PWSA continues to assure our employees and importantly, our contractors are aware of the required policies and have knowledge of our environmental compliance areas of responsibility. The second element of this communication are the updates that Frank typically provides to this group every month. And I think these are efforts that I try to build upon in our communications with our entire workforce and consultant and contractor community here at PWSA. As a reminder, Frank is stationed at the water treatment plant, though he is here at 1200 Penn, and this year has a focus on getting out to those other field sites in earnest. So he is available to any board member, any member of our staff, or the consultant community if you have any questions about environmental compliance or ethics matters. I'm happy to do my best to answer any questions you may have as it relates to compliance and ethics.
Anyone have any questions for Will of Mr. Sederi's report? Excellent report.
I will pass that along.
Yeah. All right, Will. Next up, Chief Executive Officer's report.
Happy to step into my normal role. You may remember about a month ago, we right after the board meeting, we had an event to celebrate the 10,000th lead service line replacement. Barry's report made it clear we're well beyond that. But I did want to note that it was a very positive event, attendance from all levels of government, elected leaders, executive staff from the US EPA, coming away with a celebratory feel, but I think we also, from representatives of the PUC and EPA, they were able to see firsthand what those lead service line replacements look like. And generally the impression was what we are doing really is leading edge. And the progressive way that we have used the resources that we have to replace these lead service lines and address the public health issue is something that needs to be modeled at a national level. And at risk of getting too far ahead of ourselves, there are more awards to come. So in April, there will be what's called an Aquarius Award. PWSA, our program is being recognized by the US EPA for excellence in public health. And this was a nomination that was actually put forward from our partners at PennVest. So we'll be really excited to share the details of that, but we're going to, as we talked about the other recognition, we're going to have to get a bigger trophy case. People are starting to take note of the progress that we're making in collaboration with our contractors, consultants, and our customers and stakeholders. In terms of strategic planning, I wanted to make the board and stakeholders aware that we will be making public a public-facing document, just a summary of our strategic planning initiatives. This is an outgrowth of the mission, vision, and values exercise that we conducted last year, where we engaged our workforce and came to a mission, vision, and values statement. And now we're trying to measure our progress against those attributes. We have 3 priority areas: our organizational capacity, which we are assessing. We have specific projects. Trust, rebuilding trust with our customers has been a priority of this organization through really everything that we do, whether it's customer service, public affairs, or project delivery. And then our third is infrastructure investment. We talk a lot at these board meetings about all of the investment we're making in our system, and we have a lot more work to come. So I encourage members of the public to check that out. We have printed copies for the board members who are here. Please don't leave without that 1-pager. And then finally, there has been a lot of discussion recently related to PFAS contaminants, and there have been new regulations and proposed regulations. The state has imposed a standard for PFAS compounds. And the more that I am educated on this, PFAS is a term kind of used loosely, but there are several compounds that make up these emerging contaminants, what we call, they're pretty ubiquitous, and they are very difficult to deal with, and they're not anything that's attributable to the water treatment process. These are chemicals that were produced by various industry. I do want to assure the public who is interested in this topic that PWSA has been conducted voluntary testing since 2018. We have every reason to believe that we will comply with the state standard when that is effective next year. The EPA regulations are more stringent than the current state standards. And again, we expect to be able to meet those should they go into effect. Those EPA standards are still proposed. It's something we're monitoring closely. It's obviously very concerning given the health concerns that these PFAS contaminants and compounds can have on us. So we will continue to do that voluntary testing, and we'll keep the public and the board informed if anything changes. But as it stands right now, we're very lucky to have the Allegheny River as our source water, and we're not detecting these compounds at levels of concern. And with that, that wraps up my remarks for this month.
Thank you. Any questions or comments on Will's report?
I just wanted to comment. I shared with Will, I was at a conference one day last week and met somebody new, and we were getting to know each other. And I mentioned that I was on the PWSA board, and she looked at me with a big smile and said, I had a great experience with PWSA. She and her family live in Morningside. They had their lead lines replaced, and she elaborated and said from the communication to the construction to the cleanup, she just had a really positive experience. So I think it's a nice reminder that it's such a large project in scope, and we're looking at national recognition and awards, but it comes down to our customers really feeling good about what we do for them. So I wanted to make sure that I acknowledged Will and the team for all that goes into that.
Thank you for that, BJ.
Any other comments?
So, I probably looked this up. Is the MON likewise in pretty good shape concerning PFAS? Or
I cannot answer that. Yeah, I don't know if that data has been shared publicly. I'll have to go back and look. DEP did survey the whole state a few years back, and so I think that data is available. We could go back and pull that for you, Mike.
Yes.
The celebration of the 10,000 lines, we did have board representation, did we not?
We did. Erica joined us. It was great to have her with us at that celebration, along with EPA, PUC, and obviously City Council. And then we had our member of Congress and state reps as well.
Great.
And the Lieutenant Governor.
Yes.
And Mike Dilmont was there.
Oh, and Mike was there too. Yeah, Mike was chopping it up in the back, pretty much in the excavation as normal, getting his hands dirty. Sorry, Mike.
Well, I told Will, I said, we should have had the 10,000 line at one of the board members' houses, you know, that Jim Turner would have done that. He would have had it at his house, you know, so. But anyway, I got that started. Any other questions or comments for Will? All right, very good. Thank you. We'll move to resolutions. Resolution number 12, start with Ed Barca. Ed, you're going to give Barry a run for his money and starring roles here. You're a good bit. Yeah.
Impossible.
Resolution number 12, authorizing the securing of funding by the PWSA from the Pennsylvania Infrastructure Investment Authority in the aggregate maximum principal amount of $13,354,750.
Thank you. May I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Peg McCormick.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor of resolution number 12, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Are there any opposed? Any abstentions? Resolution number 12 is approved. Resolution number 13 is
Resolution number 13, approving the reimbursement resolution for the 2023 Neighborhood Lead Service Line Replacement Program as part of the Penvest closing process.
thank you. May I have a motion?
So
Motion to
moved.
approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? I'll give a couple lines on what is involved in the closing process, Ed.
Yeah, so anytime we close on a Penvest loan, we need to bring together the contract documents. They'd like to see our prior bond indenture documents, even if it's non-Penvest debt. They'd like an updated timeline on the construction just to make sure that the award aligns with that. There's also some legal opinions involved just to make sure that, that end of the house is all, tidied up and cleaned up for Penvest. Yeah, and outside of that, it's just little logistics on, like I said, timing, but those are the bulk items there.
Okay, very good. All those in favor of resolution number 13, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Are there any opposed? Any abstentions? Resolution number 13 is approved. Resolution number 14.
Resolution number 14, authorizing certain officers and officials to take action with respect to issuing new bonds for the purpose of paying down all or a portion of the capital line of credit, refunding the Pittsburgh Water and Sewer Authority's Series 2013 bonds, and amending existing or entering into new indentures or other financing agreements.
Thank you. May I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thanks, BJ. Any discussion?
I just wanted to make a comment really regarding resolutions number 14 and 15. They're very complex financial transactions with very high numbers, and Ed has been extremely helpful to us mere mortals in terms of providing information and being completely transparent. And this is really a long game in terms of PWSA really using the resources available to do the best job we can to reinvest for our customers. And so I really want to acknowledge that. And it's all about the customers, and it's all about, doing the best for this community. So complex, but terrific.
Thank you.
Thanks, BJ. Any other comments, questions? All those in favor of resolution number 14, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Are there any opposed? Any abstentions? Resolution number 14 is approved. Resolution number 15 is.
Resolution number 15, authorizing certain officers and officials to take action with respect to the Pittsburgh Water and Sewer Authority's Series 2017 C bonds, which would include issuing new bonds, refunding or remarketing outstanding bonds, and amending existing or entering into new indentures or other financing agreements.
Thank you. May I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Thanks, Erica. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay.
Yes.
Any discussion? All those in favor of resolution number 15, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Are there any opposed? Any abstentions? Resolution number 15 is approved. We move to resolution number 16 and Rebecca Zito.
Good morning, Chair Shuley and members of the board. Today, we are requesting your approval of the 2023 Developers Manual Updates. The manual is updated annually to ensure consistency and with current policies and procedures. This year's updates were largely administrative to reflect process changes and simplifications. So there were no major policy updates to incorporate this year. Some of those notable changes include removing references to city grows since the name has changed to Clear Forms. The process overview section has been updated to reflect improved efficiencies as well. We clarified developer responsibilities when completing CCTV inspections on our sewer lines and removed approved permits as a definition since that terminology is no longer applicable. So we request that you approve the updates to the developer's manual. If there are any questions, I will try to answer those. Thank you.
Thank you. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mike and Erica, any discussion?
Gonna get myself educated here on the CCTV part. Is this in the spirit of PWSA accepting the results of integrity? What is the dispute over jetting? Development's a big thing in cities. That's kind of why.
Yes, and I may need Julia Shola's help in answering this question. I believe she's on the line. What I recall from my discussion with her is that they do need to go in to clear out the lines prior to doing the inspections. So issues beyond that, I'm not entirely aware of.
Yeah, something that maybe she can help me out with. Just
we'll get it.
This is for like permits and getting hooked up and on the acceptance of the integrity side of things, then just so I understand it better.
Sounds good. We will get back to it with an answer for you.
Any other questions or comments? All those in favor of resolution number 16, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Are there any opposed? Any abstentions? Resolution number 16 is approved. Thanks, Rebecca.
Thank you.
Resolution number 17, Barry King Show.
Good morning again. Resolution 17 is a request for the board's approval to award a professional services agreement under capital for the design services for the 2023 small diameter water main replacement contract A to GAI Consultants Incorporated in the amount of $1,423,229. The small diameter water main replacement program addresses our relay of water mains, including addressing the valves, fire hydrants, and service lines as we come across them. This award is specifically for design services for replacement of water mains in the Elliott and Crafton Heights, the West End, and the Brighton Heights neighborhoods of the city of Pittsburgh. I did want to acknowledge the supplier diversity program participation commitment goals of GAI of 46.7% for this project. Staff recommends that the board approve this award.
Thank you. May I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Thanks, Erica. Is there a second?
Second.
Thanks, Mike. Any discussion? All those in favor of resolution number 17, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Are there any opposed? Any abstentions? Resolution number 17 is approved. Resolution number 18, Barry.
Resolution 18 is a request for the board's approval to award a professional services agreement under capital for design services for the 2023 small diameter water main replacement contract B to Johnson Miriam Thompson Incorporated, JMT, in the amount of $1,221,093.76. This is contract B that's typical of the prior award you just made. This award is specifically for design services for replacement of water mains in Squirrel Hill and the Point Breeze neighborhood, Point Breeze North to be specific, neighborhoods of the city of Pittsburgh. And I want to point out again for supplier diversity, JMT has offered a 36.3% participation in this contract. So staff requests that the board approve this award.
Thank you. May I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Thanks, Erica. Is there a second?
Second, Peg McCormick Barron.
Thank you, Peg. Any discussion? Is there any magic to how you determine geographies for contract A or contract B?
There's a continuous process that we're undertaking for trying to prioritize the area, and it's based on a host of metrics, including failure rate, the existing lead numbers, and lead results. So there's a metric that has been prescribed for selecting the areas, and we continuously move down the list to the next highest ranking area.
Okay, great.
Larry, when would this work commence?
So this work is under design, will be under design this year, and this work would be commencing as a construction effort in next year.
Any other questions or comments? All those in favor of resolution number 18, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Are there any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, resolution number 18 is approved. Resolution 19, Barry.
Resolution number 19 is a request for the board's approval to enter into a utility relocation reimbursement agreement with PennDOT for PennDOT's SR 376 Commercial Street Bridge and Sewer Relocation Project, and the board's authorization of the Chief Executive Officer to sign the agreement on behalf of PWSA. This PennDOT project will impact the authority's sewer and sewer manholes in Frick Park, which is located below the SR 376 Commercial Street Bridge. There are zero costs anticipated for PWSA under this project, as PWSA will be able to recover 100% of all costs. And if any are incurred additionally throughout the completion of the project, per this agreement, we'll be able to cover those as well. As for the work to be completed under this project, the scope includes relocating PWSA sewer segments and manholes to accommodate the construction of permanent and temporary proposed bridge piers in Frick Park under the SR 376 bridge, where the project will begin with temporarily relocating the existing commercial street under 376, as well as the 9 Mile Run Trail, to permit the construction of the temporary bridge supports that will hold the new bridge. So they're going to construct the entire bridge completely separate, adjacent it. Yeah. And then upon the completion of the new bridge, they will demolish the existing bridge. And I think it's over a 2 to 3 week period, they will move that bridge into place into the new abutments and complete the project. So our work will be done in advance to relocate our infrastructure to allow that to occur. So staff is asking the board approve this agreement, as well as authorizing the Chief Executive Officer to sign the agreement on our behalf.
Very good. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Thanks, BJ. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Erica. Any discussion? I did see the video on constructing the bridge and then basically sliding the bridge in place. And, you know, I understand that it's been done before in Western Pennsylvania. So it's, you know, from a bridge infrastructure perspective, it's an interesting project. I thought we had utilities on the bridge. We don't. All of our utilities are under the bridge.
All active utilities are under the bridge, and so going to be able to maintain.
Very good. Well, it's going to be an interesting bridge project. You know, they'll have to demolish the existing bridge and slide the new bridge. So lots of moving parts. All in favor of resolution number 19, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Is there a second? I'm sorry, all in favor? Is there anyone opposed? Any abstentions? Resolution number 19 is approved. Resolution 20.
Resolution 20 is a recommendation for the board's approval to enter into a cost share agreement with the Pittsburgh Department of Mobility and Infrastructure, otherwise known as DOMI, for their critical sidewalk gap project. The scope of work for DOMI's project necessitates the adjustment of PWSA's valve boxes, service line curb boxes, and one manhole frame and cover on Fountain Street and Broad Street in the city of Pittsburgh. Staff is also requesting that the board authorize the Chief Executive Officer to sign the agreement on behalf of PWSA. I did want to know, as PWSA's project is federally funded via PennDOT, this cost share agreement is required, despite the cost being a maximum of only $5,895.31. And we do anticipate that there should be no cost to PWSA. That cost is based on a contractor performing it for us, but we intend to self-perform the adjustment of that infrastructure. So staff recommends that the board approve entering into this agreement, as well as authorizing the Chief Executive Officer to sign on our behalf.
Very good. May I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second, Jim Martin.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor of resolution number 20, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Are there any opposed? Any abstentions? Resolution number 20 is approved. Last resolution of the agenda, resolution number 21, Barry.
Resolution 21 is a request for the board's approval to award a capital contract for the construction of the Brecken pumps number 4, 5, and 7 starter replacements project to Lanco Electric Incorporated in the amount of $892,400. The Brecken pump station starter equipment for pumps 5 and 7 have malfunctioned, and the starter equipment for pump number 4 is showing early signs of similar future performance. The starter equipment for pumps 5 and 7 are in need of full replacement as soon as possible. The starter equipment for pump number 4 is proactively recommended for replacement at this time as well. Staff recommends that the board approve this award.
Thank you. May I have a motion?
Motion
So
to approve.
moved.
Second?
Second.
Erica. I think I heard BJ and Peg. Second. Any discussion? So these pumps were involved in the shutdown we had a short time ago, or no?
Technically not.
Okay.
That was due to Duquesne Light's power outage.
But these pumps weren't involved in the as part of it. We were trying to restart these pumps as well.
These pumps were not as part of the startup. Pump 4 technically was.
Okay.
But the pump actually functioned. It was the interconnection there. So we're looking to ensure that we do have resilience throughout the completion of the water reliability plan. That's why we're proposing to get all of these replaced at this time.
Okay, very good. All in favor of resolution number 21, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Are there any opposed? Any abstentions? Resolution number 21 is approved. We're at the end of the meeting. I know we have Easter coming up. I know Ramadan started. I'm sure I lost track of when Passover is. I wish everybody, did it start?
April 1st.
April 1st. Okay.
Yes.
So wish everyone a happy holiday season coming up. And you know, we had a lot of interesting things on the board today of note. So it was a very good meeting. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Thank you. All right. It's adjourned.